Joining me today from our test kitchen is Samantha Seneviratne, who insisted we couldn't do a mid-Atlantic show without including one of her favorite New York cookies, the black and white. Technically, the black and white is not a cookie, but a drop cake. And the trick is to add enough flour so the batter holds a shape, but not so much that the cookie becomes dry.
So we're gonna start with some dry ingredients, a cup of AP flour, a cup of cake flour. Cake flour gives it that finer texture, so a nice mix between the two.
Okay, and then
Half a teaspoon of baking powder. So it's not a lot of leavening for that
Right.
much flour because we don't want it to get too big.
right, and that's nice too. It has a slight roundness
Perfect
to it.
amount of
yeah.
dome. And
Right.
a quarter teaspoon salt.
Okay, so I did that. Now what's the
Okay,
next step?
next step.
And no machine, all by hand.
All by hand, it's kind
Okay.
of the greatest. So I have 2 large eggs, and I'm gonna put 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar.
And there is such a measure, 3/4 of a cup, but don't put it in your drawer. Do you know why?
It's hard, you mix it up with the other
cup,
ones.
yeah.
They're the worst.
There you are.
So I'm just whisking this until it's smooth.
Okay.
And I'm gonna add 6 tablespoons of melted and cooled butter
Okay.
and half a cup of milk.
Okay. And the vanilla.
Half a teaspoon. And then we just
Dump
put
the flour in?
Yeah,
Oh, just dump it.
super easy.
Okay.
See if I can do it without making a mess.
You're on TV.
I know. All right, that's all.
And then just cover that and
Chill it.
chill it. For how long? Just till really cold?
Really cold. So we found in the test kitchen, an hour was not always enough. Overnight is probably best.
Okay, and we have one already chilled.
So it really stiffens up.
Oh, and you have silicone mats, right?
Yeah, silicone baking mats. So this is a 1/4 cup measure. See, the dough is nice and stiff, which is good because if we put it down and it spreads too much, they're gonna come out way too thin.
Okay. So what, 4 on a sheet?
Yeah, I think 4. They do spread.
Oven at what temperature?
350 degrees.
Okay, it is set, preheated, make sure before you start scooping.
Yeah, you really don't want this to warm up.
And set your timer 12 minutes.
These are very cold, so they might take a couple more minutes.
Okay, great. So we'll clean up and we'll show how to frost
Yeah, the fun part.
finished cookie. So now the icing.
So we have 2 cups of sifted 10x confectioner sugar, and we're adding 3 tablespoons of hot water.
Hot water.
Hot water.
Okay.
And then 2 tablespoons of corn syrup.
Oh, okay, so the secret, you all use this?
I would definitely.
Okay, so you just spray your little measuring spoon with vegetable spray, and it works like magic. 2 tablespoons of light corn syrup. It slides right
out, 100%.
There's nothing left inside. It's so exciting.
Okay, so that,
Now, why the corn syrup? Just to keep
I
it
think it makes it
soft
nice and soft and pliable and really shiny. All right, that looks pretty smooth. So I always do the flat side.
Ah.
I like that you can get a nice clean line when you do the flat side.
And the flat side's not so pretty anyway.
So I think it's easy if you kind of make the line first
Yes.
and then go to the edges. Perfect.
And it's not a lot of icing.
No, it's not really a lot. It's very sweet icing, so you probably don't need that much.
I have never purchased a black and white cookie in my life. I have
That's
had
the
them at
secret.
people's houses.
They're so easy to make and they're so pretty. So to make the chocolate, we're just going to mix in 1.5 ounces of semi-sweet
And into here?
right in there.
Oh, okay.
So you have to finish all your whites before you add the
Oh, okay.
chocolate. I think some people use cocoa powder,
Oh,
but this tastes better.
oh, I agree.
And this tends to be kind of stiff, so I sometimes add a little bit more corn syrup.
Okay, corn syrup.
Because if it's too thick, then it kind of goes on like a frosting
Yeah.
instead of getting nice and smooth.
There. Okay.
Okay, now we just do the other
And it
side.
doesn't matter that they're still
I don't think so, as long as you're careful, which...
I just love how they look. They're just so much fun. My mom used to make black and white cookies because my father loved them.
And so then you just leave them on there for about 10 minutes and they'll set up. They look delicious.
If you do say so yourself. But I think half the fun of baking is complimenting yourself on the final product, don't you think?
I agree.
Oh, so lovely. Let's have one that's already set.
Okay.
Oh, cakey, but not dry.